Shalom, Hebrew Israelite family, glory and honor to the Father Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, the creator of the nation of Israel now scattered, the father of the people of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, otherwise known as descendants of slaves, and the God and Father of the Messiah Yahushua, the black revolutionary coming from the third heaven to take over this planet very shortly. Glory and honor to Father Yahweh and to Messiah Yahushua. Greetings to the 12 awakening tribes of the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Yasha'al. Greetings to the precious souls that are not of the bloodline, but are through the blood of the Messiah and in his faith, the righteousness of the Father, join with us in the truth of who we are, who the Father is, who the Messiah is, and what's about to happen. Greetings to the chat, Brother Ricky Boy, Sister Love Blue, Yafi, Brother Baldy Thorpe, Sister Jillian, Brother Gary Joseph V Dash, Listen to Your Body, Sister Daniels, Brother Superstar Stephen Kelly, Brother Weo Thesia, and Brother David Harriet. Greetings to all of you. Just a general announcement within, I would say, I'm going to put, in fact, let me do it right now. I'm going to put my email in this chat box as well. And I want you to let me know if you're interested in coming to the Memorial Day weekend 2026 at Mystic Dunes, Florida. So let me know if you're interested in coming. Send me your email address, because then once I get the names that are interested in coming, I will send out a general email so we can have a group Zoom call. And then our Zoom call, I'll have at that time costs and arrangements for the Memorial Day weekend 2026. We had a blessed time in this past one, as anyone that was there can bear witness. And the one 2 years before that, 2023, we had a blessed one then too. So we're planning on doing it again. As we know, because of the times in which we live, we're not sure how many more will be able to do it this way. But while we can, we're going to do it. It's by the grace of the Father. Yeah. So I put my email address. I'm also going to put it in the description box as well. So, all right, email. And that way, if you're interested, I'm telling everybody now, let me know so we can put you on a list and get you going. Some people I know already because you've been last couple and you're interested in coming again. I know, but I just want to get an official list of people, at least where we started. So I put it all in there for y'all to see. Now, please pay attention. If you don't know somebody that knows, tell somebody that don't know. There's the email. Tell me what you want to do. If you want to come if you're thinking about it, give me an email address and your name, and then I'll put it on a list and we'll send it out on a mass schedule so we can do a Zoom call. The Zoom call, I would like to do it within the next 2 weeks. Praise the Most High, Superstar. We'd like to do it between the Zoom call in the next couple of weeks before we actually before my wife and I go away to Medellin in December. We'd like to have that call. So let me know what you all want to do, and we'll go from there. Also, I just want to bear witness. I was talking to Sister Castro, I think it was yesterday. Sister Violet and I were talking to Sister Castro, and the Most High had revealed, and this is important for all of us. The Most High, I think Sister Castro told me it was 5 years ago, had revealed to her that he was going to be having her helping people out of her house. And she was going to be helping people as a midwife out of her house. So it was 7 years ago. Okay, thank you. It was 7 years ago. So in the interim, she ended up having to leave her house. Other situations came up, and she ended up having to leave her house and move elsewhere, which confused her, where she was going to be doing work in that house. And she revealed to us that now she's back in the same house. It's her house, not a rented house. It's her house. And she's back in that house. And she is doing the midwifery work. And she's going to be using that house also for that work. And she's been blessing other people. And in fact, I gave her the name Psa Yala, which means glittering midwife, which was Psa was one of the two midwives that was doing work for the Most High and bringing forth children to Israel while they was in Egypt. And now Sister Castro, Psa Yala, well, she is also doing the same thing in Egypt. Praise the Most High. And so, yeah, so she left her house, and now she's back in her house, and it's her house, and she's going to be doing that work, very important work. If you don't know who Sister Castro is, if you came to the last Memorial Day weekend or even the first one, she's the one that has the gift with all the children, putting them together in a few minutes and having a program. That's Sister Castro, gifted sister, and the Most High is now using that gift. I'm sure, Sister Castro, I'm 100% sure that by the time we get to May, you'll have multiple testimonies from now to then. So I am quite sure that that's going to happen. So praise the Most High. Yeah. So that's just I just wanted to share that with. I told her I was going to share it with the brethren how the Most High. And the thing is, the overall theme that I got from her sharing with me and Sister Violet was, here in these last days, brethren, as we are contrite hearted in terms of our surrender to the Heavenly Father, trusting in Yah with all our heart and leaning not to our own understanding, in all our ways acknowledging Him and allowing Him to direct our paths, as we well know, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. He will reveal to each of us what He has chosen for us. Brethren, you and I were born on this planet Earth, and it was no accident that we are born in the last few years of the history of Babylon. We could have been born at any other time or not born at all. But the Heavenly Father, who knows who's going to be in the kingdom and knows who's going to be on the earth and knows who's going to be lost, He knows all of it. The Alpha and Omega had us be brought forth now. And if He called you to existence, that is, if the Heavenly Father Yah called you to existence on the planet, He has a plan and a path for you, which is why we quote Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, and He will direct your paths. Okay? He will guide your steps. And there is a purpose for you on the planet that you did not have for yourself, that He has for you. When I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at all. And even after I graduated high school, I didn't know what to do. I was gifted in certain subjects, and I was thinking about going into that subject, but nothing really satisfied me. Nothing satisfied me. I did a lot of different things. I went after money on Wall Street. I went and did financial planning. I did mortgages. I did software stuff. I did all kinds of things. But nothing, everything was just about getting the money, just getting the paper to pay bills. It was never nothing that really was touching my heart. The only time that I felt like this is what I'm born to do was his brother came from Barbados to Harlem. And he came literally off the plane from Barbados preaching. He was preaching on the plane. He would ride the subways in New York and preach, just stand up and start preaching. And he said to me, I heard you was into the Bible. Would you like to come preach with me? And without thinking, I said, sure. So one Friday, it was Friday. He said, no, it was Wednesday. He said, Friday night, we're going to preach on the street. And I said, sure. And I was scared to death. And we went to 125th Street and 8th Avenue. No, 7th Avenue. It's 125th and 7th Avenue. Now, at that time, 125th was different than it was right now. This was back in the 80s. Crack was out. Everything. It was a whole different scene on 125th at that time. And he came out there on 125th Street, opened his Bible, and just started preaching. Then it was my turn. I didn't know what to say or what I was going to say. And people, if you know Harlem, especially at that time, people was all on the street on a Friday night. People was going, doing, coming fro. But I opened my mouth and began to preach. And it just started flowing. And I felt like this is what I'm supposed to do. And immediately, some of the brethren wanted me to go to a pastor school or Oakwood or something and learn. But the Most High said no. And I didn't understand. I said, well, at the time, my mind being Christianized, I thought, well, if I'm going to be a pastor, I got to go to a church school and learn how to be a theology student, right? He said, no. And then I was praying. He said, preach the word, be instant in season and out of season. So I was confused. Preach the word, but not in the church. And look at me now. See, I'm not in no church. And I am preaching the word and teaching the word because what I'm supposed to do. It's the only thing that ever felt natural to me. Ever felt like I'm supposed to do this. See, so all of us that are born into this time in Earth's history, the Most High will have you do what he has called you to do from before you were born. From the time the earth was founded, he knew you. Matter of fact, look, this is Jeremiah chapter 1. I just started. I'm in Jeremiah now. This is Jeremiah chapter 1, but I'll never forget this scripture. Because this is all of us. Okay. Look, you weren't born in this day and age for nothing, by accident, coincidence. No. And if you're coming to this truth of who the true Hebrews are and who the Messiah really is and the kingdom that's getting ready to be established, then there's no accident. Here, Jeremiah chapter 1. I'm going to begin at verse 4 and go down to verse 9. Then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, before, and he's talking, this is the Father talking to Jeremiah. He said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I most high Yahweh, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But Yahweh said unto me, say not, I am a child. For thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, said Yahweh. Then Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahweh said to me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, brethren, there's a purpose. With sister, she's going to be helping bring forth babies for people that wouldn't be able to go to a hospital or afford it. She's been given the home to do that. You know how many people she's going to touch, and she has touched in doing that? And how many more of it? She said she wants to give a testimony about this in May. By the time we get to May, Sister Castro going to have more testimony. Because she's going to have to, how many lives she's going to touch? We don't even know. But the Most High called her into this at this time. See? And all of us are being called. What you're being called to, don't try to force it. He will clearly show you. But it's him showing. Whatever it be. It's him showing. Okay? He show you how. He show you where. He show you when. Not on your timetable. On his timetable. Again, it was 1987. I was in my apartment in New York City, and I saw myself preaching in a dream. And I was saying, in the dream, I saw myself preaching, saying, all the churches are corrupt. And I woke up, and I told my wife about the dream. And at the time, we were thinking, well, you know, we're talking about all the other Sunday churches, not the SDA church. That's what we thought. That was 1987. I came to this truth that we're in right now I would say probably 12 years ago. And as it started becoming clear to me, you'll hear what I'm teaching. That was given to me in 1987. Okay. 30 plus years ago. So here we are, brother. The Most High is going to, he showed Abraham, he was giving him a son 25 years before Abraham had the son. 25 years. Okay. So we don't know the time frame, but we do know there is a time frame. The Father has it. We do know there is an assignment for you. The Father has it. We do know he's going to reveal it to you. Why? Because he's with all people that are seeking him. Ones that are seeking him. He's with the contrite and repentant souls. The contrite and repentant souls are his people. And again, that brings us to today's lesson. So in the thumbnail, if you noticed in the thumbnail, there's different pictures of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And then there was also Bill Clinton. I don't know if you heard the news. What happened now? There are grand jury testimonies from Ghislaine Maxwell, from Jeffrey Epstein, and there's record and there's names, and they just voted this week to release those grand jury testimonies. But everybody, well, not everybody, but I've seen several people say Donald Trump and them's already scrubbing the information. But what they could not scrub was the 30,000+ emails that have already been released. They couldn't scrub that before it cut out. Okay. Now, why do I bring all this up? Well, the Bible shows us. Let me show you in Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12. The Messiah speaks a word here. Luke chapter 12. Brethren, let me let the word speak. Luke chapter 12, beginning at verse 1. In the meantime, when there were, I'm going to read verse 1 and 2. Actually, verse 1, 2, and 3. In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, and he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. And that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed from housetop. Brethren, in the judgment, there's going to be no secrets. In the judgment, all secrets will be revealed by everybody. There'll be no secrets in the judgment. Okay, there'll be no stuff that's hidden. But even before that, as we now are seeing, enough is being revealed for people to take a stand for what is right and what is wrong. And I say this because answer me this question. You see them pictures I posted with Donald Trump, who is also a convicted sexual offender. Convicted. We're not even guessing. That's not hyperbole. He's been convicted sex offender. Also with convicted child sex trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Convicted child sex trafficker. We see them. Now, let me ask you a question. You see them pictures. Take Donald Trump out and put Barack Obama in. If all those pictures, instead of having Donald Trump with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, if all those pictures with Barack Obama, what would America be doing right now? Wouldn't they be literally trying to throw Barack Obama under the jail. And I'm not supporting Barack Obama. I'm just saying because of the color of his skin. Would they not be trying to throw this man under the jail? So look here. I have repented for voting for Barack Obama. I repented. I should not have voted for him. But you know what? All these people that are out here supporting Donald Trump, in fact, the fact that he is now dealing with child predators, and you still supporting. You supported him when he said public, he grabbed women by the private part. You supported him when he lied to you, say he giving you 5,000, you ain't got it yet. He giving you 2,000, you ain't got it yet. Mexico gonna pay for the wall. They ain't paid for jack. He promised the farmers they're gonna make more money. They losing their farms because all their Mexican workers getting jacked up and taken away. So he's been lying to you the whole time. None of his economic promises have come to pass. None of them. And now he's caught up with a child predator. And listen here, if you could stomach it, and it's only for adults. In fact, if you see my channel is only for 18 and over. Okay? I just want to make sure you understand this. It's not for children. All right. I got a playlist on sex trafficking. I save certain videos from victims and I put them in this playlist. If you could stomach it, watch some of them videos. It's hard. It's 57 videos, so you ain't going to see all of them probably. But if you could stomach it, this game of sex trafficking children, it goes back a long way, like probably 100 years, maybe more. And all the top dudes in different governments around the world, the top entertainers, the top producers, they're involved. See, that's why it still exists. You cannot have you can't have no multi-billion-dollar industry, such as child pornography, a multi-billion-dollar industry. You cannot have that unless you got help at the top. You can't do it. There is power in government. It's not just they get elected or chosen or whatever. There's power. Okay? And so there's help at the top. So all you Caucasians out here supporting this orange president, you are going to be judged. You are going to have to answer for what he has done. One of the videos, I'm going to tell you, it's the last one on the list. The woman gives names about little boys that Donald Trump had to pay off their families for molesting the little boys. Let me say it again. The woman gives names, so you can go look it up, where Trump and his family had to pay money to families whose little boys was molested by Donald Trump. And y'all supporting this man? That's why I say, listen, we always say, don't trust media. I don't care what media it is. Trust the Father's word. Don't trust churches and religions. Trust the Father's word. And if you want truth, if you want straight truth now, see, this is the thing. The majority of Americans are either too brainwashed to recognize what straight truth is or just don't want it. But if you want straight truth and the Father will give it to you, and you know what it's going to do? It's going to cut your heart. It's going to cut your heart. The Bible says, he told Jeremiah, my word is like a hammer. Straight truth, uncut, no chaser. He'll give it to you. All you got to do as individuals is ask the Creator for the truth. That's all you got to do. It's not hard. It's not hard to do in terms of the demonstrative act, but most people don't want it. I was in the SDA church. We seen gay pastors, gay choir directors, children get molested. We seen women out here having sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry become elders. I mean, we saw all of it and nobody would say anything. And when I started speaking on it, they wanted me out. And I'm glad I did. Now I look back. I was scared at the time. but I'm glad I did. And many times people come to me in quiet and say, man, if you stand up, all of us will stand up. And I would, and nobody else would. My wife said, what happened to so-and-so? Brother so-and-so said, I don't know. And I wouldn't even repeat. I would just go ahead and do what I had to do. And I end up leaving. People say, you left the church. You know what I say? The church left me. I didn't leave the church left me. I'm seeking the word. Church left me. They stopped. I'm still on the path of the word. Y'all on whatever. But see, all of those people are going to be judged. They're going to be judged. You understand? They're going to be judged because they saw what I saw and they wouldn't say anything. Why? Because they were scared of what everybody would think. Listen, man. How you going to stand in the kingdom with John the Baptist? Because you be going to the same king. John the Baptist told the king, you can't be marrying that woman. That ain't your wife. That's your brother's wife. And the king said, oh, and had him beheaded. How you going to stand next to him? And you afraid of what people think? How you going to stand next to him? How you expect to stand next to Zechariah, who was killed, Messiah said, between the porch and the altar for the truth, for staying the truth? That's his book you read, Zechariah. How you going to stand next to Paul, your Christian boy, who you think is a Christian? He's really a black man that passed like an Egyptian. If you actually read Acts, Greek man looked at him and said, aren't you an Egyptian? Why would he look at this man and say, aren't you an Egyptian? You know why? Because he was black. Greek man is Caucasian. How you going to stand next to Paul, who was beheaded for the truth? And you afraid of what people want to think? See, the truth is, most people that are following Donald Trump are what? White supremacy, period. Period, end of story, white supremacy. And if you think you're going to get over with white supremacy, I got another thought for you. You're not going nowhere. Look, there. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. You're not going nowhere. That's why I say the majority of people, see, in the United States of America, we live in a bubble, y'all. We live in a bubble. My wife was scared to go and visit Mexico because of all the drug dealers in Mexico. Mexico, when we went there, one of the safest places we ever been to. Anywhere. Anywhere. Okay? And we went to several places. Safe. But the media was telling her how all these drug deals are going down, these murderers. And she was like, I don't know, I'm afraid to go. I said, Mommy, come on, man, stop. I couldn't believe it. I said, I had to talk to him, stop. There's 100 million people in Mexico. What? We don't go to the South Bronx either. Does that mean the whole United States is the South Bronx or South Chicago? So we in a bubble. And we Hebrews raised in the bubble. Imagine the Caucasians raised in the bubble. That's why I say, if you Caucasian raised in America, you are being trained to be a racist. And if you're a white Caucasian raised in America and you join a Christian church, you are being trained to be a white supremacist, to worship a white Jesus and think you're superior. If you are black and you're born in America, you are being trained to be a proper slave. Proper slave. Okay? Proper slave. From time you are able to go to kindergarten until you go wherever education level you go, if you're black and you're in this system, you're being trained to keep your mouth shut because you want the job. You're being trained as a proper slave. Okay? You're being trained to worship a white Jesus that's in the walls of your church. I don't care what church you go to. You're being trained so that when you pray to this white Jesus, you see him as a white man when he's black. You know, it took me a couple of years. I was conscious of this fact that I was praying and picturing this white man in my head. I ain't lying. It took me a couple of years after I found out the truth to say, no, this is not what he looks like. But see, that's the thing. When you follow in truth, and the Father Yah is showing you truth, and you ask him, he'll show you. That's what I'm saying. You don't got to believe me. Ask the Creator himself. He lives in the spirit. And in the spirit, he will answer you. The thing is, he will. You don't want to hear it, though, unless you want to be saved. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, beginning at verse 1 and going down to verse 5. Let no man so account of us as of the ministers of Messiah and stewards of the mysteries of Yahweh. Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. But with me, it is very small thing that I should be judged of you, or of man's judgment. Yea, I judge not my own self. For I know nothing by myself, yet I am not hereby justified. But he that judgeth me is the master. Therefore, judge nothing before the time, until the master come, who both will judge, will bring to light, the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts. Then shall every man have praise of Yah. Notice he said, he's going to bring to light all of it. And the counsels of the heart. In other words, you harboring a white Jesus and a Christianity that you know is false, you're not going to get over. He's going to bring it. And you know what? One of the things that caused me to repent, I didn't want all my sins brought out in the open like that. I didn't want all my stuff brought out in the open. So I said, Father, I'm going to repent to you in private. That's why that verse is so pertinent to me. Go to your Father in secret, and your Father that seeth in secret shall reward you openly. Because I ain't say, man, I don't want everybody seeing my stuff. Let me pray to the Father and get this stuff handled on the private level. No, man, not in front of everybody. I said, nah, let me get this handle on the private level with me and Daddy, and we can handle it. You know what I'm saying? So, see, but all y'all trying to fake the front, oh, everybody gonna see your skirt. Your nakedness will be exposed. Everybody gonna see. Better become correct. Better be real. Wait a minute. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. See, brethren, if you're not following the Creator, what are you following? Somebody's church? Ecclesiastes chapter 12. You better go to the Creator, and you better go to his word. Stop faking the funk. It ain't going to work. If it ain't real, it ain't going to work. Well, see, this is the thing, Stephen Kelly. It's like, I don't, when my sanctuary is cleansed, I look in the toilet to see if it came out all right. And I don't even like looking at my own stuff. I'm trying to be like, damn, that came out of me. It's like, that's how all of us are. That's how all our secrets are. Our secrets seem like, damn. Bring it to the Father. You bring it to the Father, and he covers it with his righteousness. Bring it to the Father, he covers it. And it's now righteousness instead of sin. That's why I say, to me, it makes no sense. I praise the Most High because I never care about what people thought. People were always putting rumors about me. I could care less. Because I told this one dude, he was a conference president. I said, my tithe money pays your salary. Why do I care what you think about me? And he laughed, that nervous laugh white people give you when they caught. I said, yeah. Why do I care what you think? I don't. Well, we're going to have to part ways with you. So part them, bro. Part them. And they he was so mad. But he don't know. It was the grace of the Most High stopped me from reaching across that table and, but praise the Most High. Nah, man. I said, I'm paying my money to your church, and you think you're supposed to be telling me what to do? This one of them said, who has ordained you? I said, ordain me? Yes. You mean put your filthy hands on me? None of y'all. And you never will. Ooh, I was boy. Y'all didn't want to know me then, man. I mean, I was being raw at that time. That was the beginning. That was when raw remnant started turning into raw Hebrew remnant. It was raw remnant before, but then it started becoming raw Hebrew remnant. My wife and my children, when we would walk into a building, they would say, "Daddy, come on now, don't embarrass us." I said, "You better not have me go in there then. You better not have me go in there." And after a while, they had these things in SDA church. I guess in Sunday churches, they call them Sunday school lessons. In the SDA church, they call it Sabbath school lessons. It's really the same thing. So they started putting all kind of stupidness in the Sabbath school quarterly. It was supposed to be about the Bible, right? So then I started calling it out. I said, what is this in the quarterly? What does the Bible say? This is not saying what the Bible say. And then after a while, I would walk in the church. I would leave the quarterly. I said, I don't want it. And they would say, well, you want the extra one? I don't need it. What are we studying out the Bible? This is before I was fully awakened. But see, it was the seeds of what now I'm at with the truth of the word. See, that's what I'm saying. If you want it, it's there for you. It's not no mystery how to get the truth. It really isn't. People make it sound like you got to go rushing through all these different books and searching all over the earth. No. Pray to your Father, which is in secret. And your Father that seeth in secret, he shall reward you openly. That's the word. He magnifies his word above all his name. Psalm 138. See? Anyway, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 13 and 14. Watch this now. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 13 and 14. Not only is everything going to be revealed, right? Not only all your hidden thoughts. He said the thoughts of the heart and all the secrets. It's coming out. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13 and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See, brethren, I want to just reiterate. I'm not asking nobody to join no church. I'm not asking nobody to give me any money. What am I asking? I am asking you for your own salvation, to call upon the creator of heaven and earth, to call upon him alone, to take all your sin to him, to be honest with him, if you can. I'm asking you to pray to him and ask for his spirit to lead him in this word right here. King James Version, period. And let him direct your paths. Study the word with the spirit of the Father. I know it sounds simple, but it's true. See, that's how I found out that the Israelites are black people. Yeah, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but don't sit here telling me Jesus is a white man, because you're gonna be lost. He ain't no white man, and he ain't no olive color man either. No, he black. Israelites are black. They're not African and they're not American. They're black. They're melanated. That's right, with woolly hair. So look here. I got that from the word. And you know what? Y'all could bear witness that's come to these studies. Did I not just use the word exclusively to prove that? Did I use the word exclusively to prove that? Did I use the word, or did I go to these other books and say you got to read this one, that one, the other one? It's all in there if you want the truth. See, and I'm appealing to the Caucasian Europeans that's in America. I'm appealing to y'all. Don't act like I'm just, I used to get this all the time from the Caucasians in the SDA church. He preaches anger and hate. Yeah, you can call it that if you want to. I call it love. I call it love. Why do I call it love? Because it's straight truth, no chasing. Look, there are people, right? They go to the doctor, and the doctor say, I got some bad news. And there are people say, I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me nothing. I'm just going to, if I'm going to die, then others say, give it to me straight, right? Give it to me straight, doc. How long do I have? Well, why would he do that? Because he's trying to help you. He wants to bless you and just let you know this. All right, you got 3 months. And now you know. That's love. That's not hate. He ain't telling you that because he hates you. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, you got less than 7 years. This is all over. The game is over. See, right now, people, when you see people following this orange man, believe it, they're prepared to receive the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is not going to be any mystery. It's going to be people choosing wrong openly in a religious and government sense. You know, like the Trump supporters, choosing wrong openly and proclaiming it to be right. That's what it is, brother. And the problem with the mark is this. It's not, the people that are lost are going to be lost anyway, okay? It's only, if you look at the Bible, the times the Most High's hands would move is when the heathen tried to bring his people. See, when Haman tried to say, I'm going to kill all the Jews in the kingdom, that's when he had a problem. That's when he messed up right there. When Pharaoh say, make them work hard and kill all the males, let the females live, kill, you just messed up right there. See, that's when the hand moves. And again, we know Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, otherwise known as Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. We know what happened there. Nebuchadnezzar said, this is my kingdom. You're going to bow down to my statue or you're going to die. And who's going to deliver you out my hand? He messed up right there. This is the mark of the beast. See, they could do whatever they want. That's their business. But when you're trying to get us involved in your games of white Jesus and Christianity, and that's where you got messed up. That's where you got messed up. Okay, you messed up. Right, like same with Nebuchadnezzar's grandson. He was all right with his little party until he started messing with the holy vessels. When he started messing with the holy vessels, then the hand came. And that night he was dead. See? So this is what's coming. Okay? Now, that for us, it's going to be a question of, just like it's been in times past in the Bible, it's going to be for us. No different than the Hebrews in Egypt, no different coming out of Egypt, no different than the Israelites in Persia, no different than all of them before us. It's going to be, we're going to be even more extreme because this is the end. So we're going to have to give up everything. Don't worry about it now. Just understand, you're not going to own anything except the clothes on your back. That's it. You're going to end up with no house, no apartment, no job, no money coming in, nothing. No car, nothing. It's the clothes on your back. You say, what are we going to do? Well, you're going to have to be with your Heavenly Father, and you're going to have to know where He's guiding you. And He will let you know, just like He's done. Look, here, this is Jeremiah chapter 23. Jeremiah 23. Watch this now. We know the verse, Yahweh our righteousness, but look, right after that, it's very important because it's going to show you what's getting ready to happen. Look, this is Jeremiah chapter 23. And of course, we're discussing Messiah in this verse here. But let's start at verse 5 for the context and go down to verse 8, right? Especially verse 8. I know it's easy and it's beautiful to focus on verse 6, but 5, 6, 7, and 8. Watch 8. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name, whereby he shall be called Yahweh, our righteousness. Praise the Most High. Therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Why won't they say that? Verse 8. But Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, Europeans, and from all the countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. See, that's where we meet on the sea of glass. See, we meet on the sea of glass, and from there we come back to take the kingdom. So the first thing, we're going to have the Feast of Tabernacles on the sea of glass, having been sealed in the righteousness of the Father, all the redeemed around the throne of Father Yah with Messiah and 24 elders and all of the redeemed. And for 7.5 days, we're going to be doing thing, partying up. But then Messiah gets on his war robes. Yes, Revelation 19 puts his war, he done took off the priest. He going to put on the war stuff. Okay, 7.5 days. That's the half hour. So there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. That's 7.5 days. Okay, that's the Feast of Tabernacles. Then Messiah puts on his war robes, the revolutionary robes, Revelation chapter 19. And when he come back, we are all going to be with him. The armies of heaven will include us. And the city will come down. And we will take the kingdom. And the gates of hell will not prevail against it. It's all coming. This ain't no fantasy. This is the word of the Most High. Yes, there's going to be time to do business. Of course, you know what Jeremiah says. While we're in Jeremiah, let's look at Jeremiah 51 while we're here, right? Look, I want to show you something. Jeremiah 51. This is also what we're getting ready to read, is also Revelation 19. Revelation 19 is manifested in several places in the Old Testament. But of course, the Old Testament is done away with, right? But it's manifested in Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel. It's manifested in all those places and more. It's manifested in Zechariah. Revelation 19 is manifested in all those places. Okay, so watch this. This is Revelation 19, but now we're getting it from, it's actually 18 in here too, but we're not reading the whole chapter 51. It's a long chapter, but we're going to read Revelation 19 part right here. So this is Jeremiah chapter 51. I'm going to start at verse 16, and I'm going to go from verse 16 down to verse 24. Jeremiah chapter 51, Jeremiah 51, from verse 16 to verse 24. Watch this here. Watch this. Watch this. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasure. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them. I guess my man was right. They not like us. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh of hosts is his name. Thou art, talking about Israel, he said, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider, and with thee also will I break in pieces man and woman. With thee will I break in pieces old and young. With thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. With thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh. There you go. See, when we get from the sea of glass, not now, obviously, but when we get back from the sea of glass, we will have new bodies. We will have white robes, clean and white. We'll be on white horses. And we'll have some swords. And there's going to be a problem for some. Oh, for a lot. There's going to be a problem. Business is going to get done. See, now's the time. We beseech thee, says Brother Paul, as ambassadors for Messiah, be ye reconciled to Yahweh. Be ye reconciled to Yahweh. Now is the time, see? But see, brethren, it's going to appear. This is the thing. Y'all remember the story of Gideon. Gideon went against at least 100,000 soldiers, and he only had 300 men. Remember that? And remember what the father told him? He said, I only give you these 300 because, first of all, those are the only ones that lapped with the water, didn't sit down and drink and take their time. They was ready to do business. So they came to the edge of the water, lapped it up like dogs. And he said, whoever laps up the water like a dog, that's who you bring in the army. Only 300 did. There were thousands of men out there. And Gideon came with them 300. And they slaughtered the 100,000 plus. And why? The Most High said, I can't let you think that you got this victory. See? So why did I say that? Because it's coming a time where it's going to look like we got no power. We're not going to have no guns. We're not going to have no bullets. We're not going to have no weapons. We're not going to own nothing. They're going to take all that stuff. Listen, they're going to take all of it. But it's okay. We're going to still win. See? We're going to still win. Why? Remember this, brethren. You, with the Creator, is the majority. Remember that. You, with the Creator, is the majority. It don't matter how many people they have, how many people following their man-made religions, how much money they have, how many it's not going to matter. You, with the Creator, is the majority. Always. Always. Their weapons won't help them. No. And check this out. Check this out. All types of weaponry, right, are used with gunpowder, correct? You need satellites to radio communicate, right? You're going to need gasoline. It's got to be developed. You know, the oil got to be dug up, change the gas. It's not going to do them any good. It's all going to be useless. That's why the Bible talks about them being on horses. That's the only mode they're going to have. They're not going to have no cars. None of their stuff's going to work. None of their stuff's going to work. They're going to have to come with swords and horses. And they're going to have a problem. So what we're seeing right now is people are making their final. You're seeing it every day, right? When you hear about people walking in houses, killing mommy and daddy, or husband walking in the house, killing wife and children, right? And you're seeing some of the heinous things people are doing. And it's child sex trafficking, multi-billion dollars. Like I said, look at the video. You'll get plenty of witnesses of what they're doing. These are survivors of this stuff. And they all tell about others that didn't survive. Children that were murdered. It's still happening because it's with the powers that be, see? So that's going to continue. But all this is going to come to an end. It's all now. People are getting knowledge that these things are happening and looking the other way. And in doing that, they're sealing their own fate. So now you see, when I saw Barack Obama, when he could have done a lot of good for us, he really could. When I saw him turn Washington, D.C. from Chocolate City to Rainbow City, and it wasn't just me, it was a bunch of brothers. I was working in D.C. at that time. And it was like, man, what is this dude doing? I was mad. I was like, man, I was so proud to vote for a black man. And I should have known. Presidents aren't voted for, they're chosen. And why was he chosen? Because he caused people like me just trust him. When you know you can't trust no government here, I should have known that. Can't trust no government on the earth. All the governments of the earth are run by Satan. That's why they're all going to be overthrown, all of them. All of them. And there's only going to be one government left. It's the monarchy of the Messiah. That's the only one. Yeah, I have other kings in different places beneath him. But I had to repent. I did. I repented. I got fooled, bamboozled, hoodwinked. I admit it. I would never do it again. Not since then. He caught me there in 2012 last time. I said, that's enough. I said, mm-mm. And many people are still fooled, thinking you're going to vote for somebody and help things get better. Child sex trafficking happens with Republicans and Democrats and independents. Anybody with power and money, they get involved with these rituals with children. They're all liars. All politicians are liars. You can't even get in the club unless you can lie. Yeah, man. I mean, my point I'm talking to the Caucasians. Listen, we admit we made a mistake. When are you going to admit yours? You're living in this bubble. Your white Jesus is not going to help you. Your church is not going to help you. Do you realize that when Donald Trump first became president back in 2016, a whole bunch of Christian leaders came to the Oval Office and laid hands on him? Y'all realize that? They laid hands on him in the Oval Office. I should have put that picture. There was Hebrews and Caucasians, mostly Caucasian, but they laid hands on him in the Oval Office. Can you imagine? What happens to a person if they lay hands on a devil? Worshiping the devil. Because that's what's happening. They laid hands on him, man, in the Oval Office. They said, the Lord sent him. That's what they said. The Lord sent him. A Lord sent him, but not the Father, Son, Messiah. Nope. See? And so I'm appealing to people that were down with that, understanding what you did and where it's headed, and asking you, pray to the Heavenly Father and let him show you the truth before it's too late for you. Because too late is coming fast. It's coming fast. Every day is too late for a lot of people. Every day. It's too late for a lot of people. It's too late for Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you right now, it's too late for him. Too late. Okay? And there's every day people sealing their fate for good. We're in that time. We're in that time right now where that's happening. I'm praising the Most High that he blessed us to have a conscience to follow the truth, no matter what people think about it. That's right. Spiritual wickedness in high places. It don't matter what people think about it. You and the Father are the majority. You and the Father are the majority. So, yeah, judgment's coming on everybody. There's nothing that's going to be hid. Everything's going to be revealed. There's no secrets going to be kept. You think it's in your heart and you can keep a secret. It's going to be revealed to everybody for everybody to see. Everybody's skirt that's not being real is going to be lifted up so everybody can see. You're going to be embarrassed. Come correct before it's too late. Better to be embarrassed by what your family and your church says about you than the angels. That's what I think. Well, praise the Most High for the truth, for his spirit, for the Messiah, and of course, for his word. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you, and may he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Also, please remember Sister Heather Mercer and brother Jeff Mercer in prayer. Her mother is in the last throes of her life. They're giving her morphine. I know what that's about because that's what happened to my daddy. When they start putting you in hospice and giving you morphine, they're trying to ease the transition. And her mother's going through that, and she's got to deal with that. So please remember Sister Heather, Brother Jeff, in your prayers, as she's been caring for her mother pretty much this whole year. So yes, they're going to need the strength of the prayers of the brethren. All right, my brothers and sisters, Shalom, Israel. Shalom.